Dinner tonight is at the Dent Island Rapids Grill, a little deck just above the rapids flowing by the passageway between Dent Island and the mainland. Nice setting in a U shape around the bar. We're here for dinner at the Rapids Grill at the Dent Island Lodge. Dinner's going to start in a few minutes, and it's right on a small precipice overlooking the passage between the actual Dent Island and the mainland. What a setting.
Here at the new pass. You're in store for a wonderful meal this evening, as you can see being prepared for us. I wanted to introduce the team that will be taking care of you this evening. We have Bryn, who will be your server hostess for the evening, and our very talented chefs returning from last year. We have Tyrone, and as well George, who, if you were here last year, you had definitely some of this wonderful bread and soup for sure, but now we get to see him in action down here, which is so great. So I'll let these guys here tell you a little bit about what you're going to be having this evening.
Okay, so we're all almost settled in here. I am just finishing up the first course. First course this evening. We're playing with prawns and tomatoes. So prawns come from Dent Inlet. They're gorgeous. There's not much to explain. I marinate them in coriander, put them on the grill, take them off, and then they're in the middle of the bowl. The vegetables have been grilled and pickled. So we have some acidity, we have some bitterness off the grill. And the concept behind that is that Vancouver Island has incredible bounty. Especially this time of year, all the farms are just essentially like in full swing, and we've really focused this season on farmed ingredients from Black Creek. So there's a collaboration going on between about 7 different farms: Pattison, Shorewolf, Fitzgerald, and so on and so forth. These farms produce nothing but gold for chefs. So if you have any questions about the vegetables in this course, please come get me in between courses. But as this menu continues to play itself out, a lot of these vegetables, 90% are coming from the exact soil that I just finished explaining. So the dish in the first course is finished with a prawn and tomato consomme as well, and that is a very cold but highly acidic broth that I clarify, if that takes days. And for me, this first course is really about waking up your palate, getting things moving, waking you up, and moving into the second course. George, please jump in.
So for your second course this evening, our greens, which is a kale and Mizuna mustard leaf mix. They come from Pattison Farms on Vancouver Island, and they go with a goat's cheese mousse, a confit cherry tomato, which is peeled and confit in olive oil, rosemary and garlic, with a raspberry vinaigrette over the leaves and toasted cashews. And then you step into the gnocchi course.
So third course this evening, we have a mushroom and ricotta cheese gnocchi. Now this dish for me is somewhat inherited from Dent Island and Rapids Grill in the past, but I've definitely finessed it as my own. We have a honey and grainy mustard reduction that glazes the gnocchi after I sear it, and then the mushrooms we've sourced this season out of Coombs. So they have a mushroom cultivating site there in Coombs is like Central Island, British Columbia. It's called the Mushroom Hut. Tonight's mushrooms are lion's manes, shimijis, about 5 different varietals of oysters, and some cinnamon caps. So that dish gets finished with Parmesan cheese and chive oil with a little bit of chives as well. George, moving into my favorite course of the evening, George's fish course.
So the fish course is local BC halibut, and that is sous vide in blueberry curry powder. It's taken me back to my roots in England of eating a lot of Indian restaurants, and I have incorporated this Vaudouvan as an homage to the French techniques we use here. It's a French masala blend, and that runs through the whole dish, which is brown buttered cauliflower with the onion bhaji, sweet corn veloute, and the halibut itself, and chives. And then we step into our meat course, beef tenderloin. Would you like to?
Yes, so most days I start sous videing tenderloin about 5 hours before service, so around 2 o'clock today. And that has been sous vide in beef tallow. Beef tallow is the extraction of fat from the animal naturally. So when we roast bones, we do butchery and essentially render the fat down. What we're really doing is just making sure that everything that we use is being accounted for. And that to me is a much more sustainable approach to cooking because it just is. So there's no real, there's no song and dance with it. It's just utilizing the weight that we pay for to get our food delivered here, which is a weekly event, and just making sure that every pound that gets on that boat is used to the maximum potential. So that dish is finished with a natural reduction of veal, where we also get more of that fat I just mentioned, and then we do that with the celery root and caramelized onion puree and seasonal vegetables. George, you tackled the veg today, I believe.
Indeed. So today we have some beetroot and baby carrots.
Oh, beetroot.
Some beef fat as well. We love our beef tallow here. We get a lot of it.
And then dessert.
And dessert, we head into play on pamperdou, French breakfast. So it's not overly sweet, but it's still pretty sweet for a dessert. So that is the homemade brioche, which we toast and then dust in a salted hazelnut farthing. And it goes with a champagne sauvignon, which is like a creme anglaise, but with champagne, so it's airy and light, as opposed to cream. And that goes with macerated strawberries, which is strawberries marinated in white wine syrup for about 3 days. And then and that goes with the salted walnut farthing and the toasted hazelnuts. And that's everything.
Thank you.
First course will be up in about 3 to 4 minutes.
The first course is a tomato consomme with grilled vegetables, basil oil, and butte inlet spot prawn. Now he's plating the second course of the kale and mustard leaf salad. Nice presentation. Cute little tomato on the side. Now it's on to the preparation of the homemade potato gnocchi with Vancouver Island mushrooms and house honey mustard. Very nice plating. It's nice to see all of this action happening right in front of you, and the staff is so well trained. The setting is also beautiful. The sun was beginning to set as they were plating. It's about 7:30 now. And there's the plating with a little bit of grated Parmesan on top. On to the next course. After the potato gnocchi, it's going to be the seared halibut, which was served with an onion fritter, curried sweet corn veloute, or velouté, fried cauliflower, and chives. After that, I took a little break, and I stepped out, take a look at the rapids flowing by, and then came back to find the beef tenderloin with the potato fondant, seasonal vegetables au jus, and it was cooked perfectly. We really enjoyed it, and that's a beet. And I really like beets, but not too many beets. That was just fine. The potato fondant was just so delicate and so nice, you hardly didn't even want to eat the thing. Found it nice and crisp. It's kind of like you have one and then it's like a bag of potato chips. You want to eat them all. And then they moved into the grand finale, the toasted brioche and hazelnuts that were covered with macerated strawberries with champagne sauvignon. And he kind of lightly cooked each piece of the brioche in a frying pan, I think with a little butter in it, and then they hand ladled out the macerated strawberries. The presentation was fantastic, but the taste was just marvelous, and it was extremely light. A wonderful way to finish an evening. with dinner at the Dent Island Rapids Grill.